Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to Pennies and Plans, where we explore all things finance and early retirement related. In this episode, I'm going to be discussing time and more specifically, how I spend my time. Yesterday was the 1st of January, and as I excitedly got out my New Year calendar of inspirational quotes, January the 1st got me thinking all about my time. The quote was, "The year is yours. What will you do with it?" Now, as you may have already realised, this channel is all about my husband and I aiming for early retirement. So you don't need to be Einstein to work out that we're not quite there yet. But that aside, the quote did make me think about my time and how I currently spend it. A year is 365 days or 8,760 hours. So where do those hours go for me? A very quick estimation, and I came up with these key categories and figures. And before any bright spark points out that I've missed out the exercise category, sadly, that is an area that is currently lacking, but it is on this year's plans. So Bob and I both still work full time, and even accounting for a few weeks of annual leave, we spend about 28% of our time in work-related activities. This includes getting ready for work, travelling to and from work, and work itself. Then there are other activities we do, and sleeping is another big category at 29%. So already that's not far off of 60% of our time or year. Another, say, 15% is taken up with general activities of shopping, cooking, eating, and doing the usual household chores such as cleaning, washing, tidying up, etc. Now, I've probably underestimated this area a bit too much, but I think you get the idea. The remaining 25% of my time covers more of my hobbies and lifestyle activities, be it reading a book, watching a film, scrolling on my phone, or using the computer, as well as other things like meeting up with friends, going for long walks, etc. So going back to the original quote, a fair chunk of our time is currently eaten up by work. If we didn't have to work and we were financially secure enough to support ourselves, then we would be able to reclaim a large amount of time which we could put to better use than we do at present. One of the main goals for us in retirement is to be able to travel, which is obviously very restrictive whilst we are currently working. Working remotely would free up some time, but it would still feel like we had a ball and chain around us to a certain extent, so that's not really an option for us. But I guess it might work for others who could take advantage of this if it was possible with their jobs. So this 28% is quite a lot of time. Not working would free up our spare time to about 42%. So this then got me thinking about another aspect of time as we head towards retirement. Now, most people are pretty familiar with this type of graph. When you are young, you are usually healthy but not financially wealthy. And as you get older, your wealth increases but your health starts to decline. So the sweet spot is probably around the 40 to 60 age group range. So if you're able to be financially independent in this area here, where you've got a reasonable amount of money and your health is still quite good, then that would obviously be great. However, the traditional course of retirement for most folks is to work to the normal retirement age. Currently, this is 67 in the UK for Bob and I, and of course it might even increase in years to come. That said, the obvious problem with this, as can be seen in the graph, is that by the time you get to 67, your health is sadly on the downward trajectory by this point. So 67 is about here, and that's where you're going to be. If you also consider the 3 phases of retirement, in terms of the go slow, and the no-go years, then you are estimated to be able to actively enjoy retirement for about 10 years, from the ages of 67 to 77 years of age, before you then move into the last 2 phases. Now, I know each of these phases is supposed to be considered on a decade basis, but I personally think that the last 2, the slow go and the no-go years, are much shorter phases. So here we're talking about your go-go years, then your slow-go years, and then your no-go years. So let me explain why I think like that. I've previously looked at the average life expectancy for the UK and more specifically for Scotland, as that is where we are based. And unfortunately, Scotland has a slightly lower life expectancy than that of the UK. So the average female life expectancy is 81 years of age, and the average male life expectancy is 76.8 years. So let's round that up to 77 years because I'm a generous God. So that puts me here, and it puts Bob here on the chart. Now I know this might be slightly underestimating life expectancy, but Bob and I no longer have our parents, and the average death age for our parents was 74 years of age, with our mums passing at 51 and 78, and our dads passing at 72 and 93 years of age. So for the purposes of this exercise, if we say the average life expectancy for a couple is 80 years of age, then that is fairly reasonable, in my opinion, as it exceeds 3 out of 4 of our parents. Now, going back to the traditional normal retirement of age 67 years and using the 80-year life expectancy figure, that would give us a retirement of 13 years, which seems totally pants if I'm honest. I mean, we've worked hard and all we might get is 13 years to enjoy our retirement. And if we consider the go-go phase being about 10 years, then that would give us from 67 to 77 to be able to enjoy our retirement and do some travelling. It's not really a thrilling thought, is it? However, what if we could extend not only our overall retirement, but also our go-go years? If we were able to retire at 55, then that could potentially give us a 25-year retirement window and potentially even 20 years of go-go years before we start declining into the go-slow years at an age of 75. Now, this seems a much better option and goal to strive for. We have met a number of retired travelling couples over the last 10 years, and each of these couples retired early and before the normal retirement ages in the respective countries of Canada and America. They have managed to extend their go-go years because of this, and it is only now as they are heading towards their 80s that they are showing signs of the go-slow years. These people are our retirement role models. Also, I should say that we would much prefer to extend our go-go years at the expense of the go-slow and the no-go years, but that is just our personal preference and perspective based on our experiences and life choices. So in conclusion, it's important to think about how you spend your time now, how you would like to spend your time in retirement, and to try and estimate how much time you are likely to have in retirement to fully enjoy it and do all the things that you have always wanted to do but never had the time previously. Thanks for listening to this episode, and if this has given you food for thought or you are interested in seeing how we get on our retirement journey, please feel free to like and subscribe. Happy New Year once again.